Welcome back. Today we are going to talk about why middle-aged sailors choose certain boats. And this is not just about comfort. There are much deeper reasons behind it. Today I have prepared 5 of them. Let's get started. Number 5, Leopard 40, 42, and 45. Let me start with a question. Why do middle-age and catamarans come up in the same conversation so often? The answer is actually very simple. Because catamarans do not heel. That might sound funny, but take it seriously. Someone living on a monohull is always living at an angle. You are cooking, leaning to one side. You are sleeping, tilted to one side. 10 years ago that did not bother you. Now it does. Because now you have a back, knees, and shoulders that remind you every single day. A catamaran eliminates that problem. A flat platform, a wide salon between 2 hulls, full-length windows, good sunlight, good ventilation. Leopard is the most preferred brand in this category, and especially the 40, 42, and 45 models keep coming up in conversations among middle-aged couples. Someone who crossed the Atlantic on a Leopard 40 said this, "My wife knew nothing about sailing. When we switched to the Leopard, everything changed. She felt safe. And when she felt safe, she wanted to learn." That is a very important point. In most middle-aged couples, one partner is experienced and the other is not. And if the less experienced partner gets scared on the very first trip, that dream ends before it even begins. A catamaran removes that barrier to a great extent. The cockpit on the Leopard 42 is incredibly spacious. You can eat out there, host guests, or just lie down on deck. Everything you would normally do down below on a monohull, you can do outside in the open air. But there is a reality that needs to be said here. Catamarans are expensive, both to buy and to keep in a marina. Most marinas charge double the slip fee for a catamaran because it takes up 2 berths, and the maintenance is similar to maintaining 2 boats. 2 engines, 2 hulls, 2 of everything. Someone who did a long voyage on a Leopard 45 shared this. The costs were higher than expected, but every single time I watched the sunrise from that wide salon at 6 in the morning, I had 0 regrets. That is exactly why middle-aged sailors choose the Leopard. Because comfort is no longer a luxury for them, it is a priority. Number 4, Dufour 37, 41, and 44. The best way to describe a Dufour is this: the smartest compromise between what I want and what I can actually handle. A sailor said that. And it is genuinely true. Dufour is French. Design comes first. Interior width, use of light, color palette. None of that is accidental. All of it is intentional. The Dufour 41 inches particular keeps coming up among middle-aged couples. Why the 41? Because the 37 feels a little tight on longer passages. Storage gets limited quickly. The 44 is great, but managing it short-handed or as a couple gets noticeably harder. The 41 sits right in the middle of those two. Someone who spent a summer in the Mediterranean on a Dufour 41 said this, "I am 48 and we sail this boat just the 2 of us. Even when we had to deal with the spinnaker in rough conditions, I did not panic. Everything is in a logical place." That phrase, "everything is in a logical place," is really important. When you reach middle age, you simply have no patience left for bad design. When the winch is not where it should be, when the line does not run where it needs to run, it does not just frustrate you, it wears you out, and you do not want to be worn out. Dufour solves this well. The deck layout is clean. Everything can be managed from the cockpit. You can ease the mainsail without going to the foredeck. These feel like small details, but they make a real difference offshore. There is one more thing worth mentioning. Dufour holds its resale value well. Along with Beneteau, they are among the best-selling sailboat manufacturers in Europe, which means spare parts are not hard to find. The service network is wide. For anyone cruising the Mediterranean or Atlantic coast, that is a major advantage. Someone who made the passage from Spain to the Canary Islands on a Dufour 44 shared this. "The boat never let me down. I let myself down. I chose the wrong weather window. But that was not the boat's fault. That distinction matters. A good boat will not save you from bad decisions. But even after bad decisions, it will keep you safe." Do not forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you want to follow the rest of this series. Number 3. Caliber 35, 38, and 40 LRC. There is something you notice right away about Caliber owners. They do not talk much. but they keep sailing for years. That says something. The caliber 35, 38, and especially the 40 LRC, which stands for long-range cruiser, consistently appear near the top of the list among middle-aged blue water sailors. Quietly, without much fanfare, but steadily. Why? Because caliber boats carry the best qualities of American boat building. Solid fiberglass construction, a deep, wide cockpit. That matters because you sit in that cockpit for hours offshore, and a narrow cockpit will wear you down. Large water and fuel tanks, strong engine integration. Someone who made the passage from Florida to the Bahamas on a caliber 38 said this: "I am 53 and I have been sailing this boat for 6 years. I have never had a major breakdown. That is not luck. That is caliber. 6 years, no major breakdowns." That sentence says a lot. The most striking feature of the caliber 40 LRC is the interior. It feels like it was designed with a middle-aged couple specifically in mind. The aft cabin is generous, headroom is comfortable, ventilation is good, the galley is large and practical. Refrigerator capacity is sufficient. But let's be honest about one thing. Caliber boats do not win speed trophies. These are not racing boats. If sailing performance is your top priority, caliber might not satisfy you. But if your goal is to feel safe while making your morning coffee, to get from port to port in a satisfying way, and to still be on the same boat 10 years from now, then caliber earns its place on this list. Someone who spent a winter in the Caribbean on a caliber 40 LRC said this: "Some boats feel like they might come apart in big ocean swells. The caliber does not feel that way. It is steady and reliable. It says to you, 'I am here, do not worry.' That feeling of do not worry, that is exactly what a middle-aged sailor is looking for." Number 2. Nonsuch 30, 33, and 36. You have probably seen a Nonsuch before, but maybe did not know the name. That oddly shaped boat with a single sail and no shrouds holding up the mast. And that is precisely why middle-aged sailors love them. The Nonsuch is a cat rig boat, one large sail. No foresail, no jib, no tangle of lines. No shrouds needed because the mast is designed to be self-supporting. The deck is clean, open, and unobstructed. Think about this. It is 2 in the morning and you need to get on deck. There are waves, wind, and the boat is moving. On a typical monohull, you are navigating through a maze of lines, fittings, and wires just to reach the bow. On a Nonsuch, a clean deck is waiting for you. The vast majority of Nonsuch owners are in their 50s and 60s. Young owners are extremely rare, and there is a reason for that. The Nonsuch is close to an ideal solution for people who want to keep sailing but need to reduce the physical demands of doing so. Let's hear from someone who sailed a Nonsuch 36 for many years. I am 65. Most of my sailing friends have already sold their boats. I am still out on the water because the Nonsuch makes that possible for me. No wrestling with lines. The Nonsuch 33 is the most balanced model in the family. Comfortable enough for open water and still manageable in a marina. But there is a drawback worth mentioning. Nonsuch boats are weak upwind. When you need to sail against the wind, performance drops noticeably. Is that an acceptable trade-off? If you can plan your routes well and avoid upwind passages, yes. But if you cannot, it will frustrate you. Someone else said this: "After I got the Nonsuch, I did not stop sailing. I actually go out more often, because getting ready to go is no longer a chore." That last sentence is important. During middle age and retirement, people sell their boats. Why? Because using them feels like too much effort. The Nonsuch removes that barrier. Number 1, Hunter 380, 410, and 45cc. There are 2 very different schools of thought about Hunter in the sailing world. One group feels the boats are built on the lighter side and not ideal for serious offshore passages. The other group has been sailing Hunters for 10 years and has no complaints. The truth is somewhere in the middle. And to understand why middle-aged sailors choose this brand, you need to understand what Hunter was actually trying to build. At some point, Hunter Marine did serious research on their own customers. And the findings were interesting. Older sailors were not looking for performance-focused features. They wanted larger heads, more living space, and a more comfortable salon. Hunter heard that. And they designed their boats accordingly. When you step into the interior of a Hunter 380, you are surprised. You do not expect a 3-8-foot boat to feel this open. Headroom is good. The salon is wide. The galley is practical. The forward cabin actually feels like a real bedroom. Someone who owns a Hunter 380 said this: "I am 49 and my wife and I use this boat on weekends." She was not very enthusiastic about sailing at first. When she saw the Hunter, she said, "This is beautiful." That was the moment we agreed. That challenge of getting a partner on board is a theme that comes up constantly in the middle-aged sailing world. And Hunter handles it well because the interior feels less like a boat and more like an apartment. The Hunter 45cc is the largest and most talked about model in the family. CC stands for center cockpit, meaning the helmsman sits in the middle of the boat rather than at the stern. This layout improves safety offshore because the cockpit is more protected. And the aft cabin is like a private suite with its own entrance, its own windows, and its own shower. Someone who spent 2 years cruising the Caribbean on a Hunter 45cc shared this: "I am 55 and we have been living on this boat for 2 years. We heard a lot of criticism before we bought it. We have no regrets. We love every port, every morning." But the honest picture also includes the limitations. Offshore capability has boundaries. It is not the ideal choice for a serious Atlantic crossing. Deck hardware sometimes feels like corners were cut. The price-to-value ratio is solid, but resale value drops faster than some competitors. So the Hunter is the right boat for someone who answers yes to this question. I love the sea, I love comfort, and what I really want is beautiful anchorages and interesting ports rather than long offshore passages. If your answer is yes, Hunter is a rational choice. Why these 5 boats? While putting this video together and going through the research, one thing became very clear. Middle-aged sailors make better choices. Not faster, not more expensive, not more impressive boats, the right boats, because they finally know what they want. When you are young and buying a boat, you ask yourself, can I win a race with this? Will this look good in photos? What will my friends think? In middle age, those questions shift. Will my partner be happy on this boat? Will I feel at peace when I wake up here in the morning? If something breaks, can I fix it on my own? Will I still be on this same boat 10 years from now? The boats that answer yes to those questions are the Leopard, the Dufour, the Caliber, the Nonsuch, and the Hunter. If you have any experience with these boats, share it in the comments. Let other people know what you found. We are growing slowly, and this community is heading somewhere good. If this video does well, I have another 5 boats in mind for the next one. Until then, take care. See you in the next video.